Hey guys, my name is Ivy Starnes, Gaited Horse Trainer. We had the live video just get cut off. I have never had that happen, so I don't know what happened and why it did it, but we're going to continue. We went through how to train a horse to stand, and you got to finish that, and then we started talking about pawing and what makes a horse paw and what I would do to fix it. So let me try to get back on track here. I'm not sure quite where it cut off, except that I know I was talking about pawing. So because other people once may not have heard the beginning. Let's talk about this. So the question was how I handle pawing while standing, and then April follows it up. My Arabian will paw when standing tied because she wants to put her head down to eat grass and not stand there without grazing. If she's tied up but can graze, she doesn't paw. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about pawing. And I know I did talk about it a little bit in the previous video, but we're going to talk about it. So a horse that's pawing, and hopefully we don't have another error. A horse that's pawing, what are they telling you? They are telling you something. What is it that they're telling you? And it's really important to think about it this way, because your horse is literally communicating. He's telling you something by the fact that he's pawing. Now, we know horses can paw when they want their dinner. We know they can paw when their buddy gets taken out and they're getting anxious. And I kind of gave you the answer right there. Oops. Basically, a horse paws either on the ground or in the saddle because they are anxious about something, whether they're anxious because they want their dinner, because their buddy left, because they're not with their other horses, there's new horses around. Could be any number of reasons, but basically the horse is telling you that he's anxious. Okay, so with that information in mind, what do you think we want to do to get him to stop pawing? Now, if any of you have been in the world of dog training, you know there's a movement that's been to not punish your dog for growling. Now, do we want our dogs growling at us? Absolutely not. But what do we want less than growling? Biting, snapping. Dogs growl to give us a warning as to what they're thinking. And usually a growl is, when escalated, followed by a bite. Now, not always, but if you punish a dog for growling, what happens is you take away their method of communication and letting you know that you're getting close to that edge where they'll go over. Same thing is not exactly the same. They're not the exact same, but horses are similar in that the pawing tells you that they are not relaxed. They are not comfortable. So with that very important information, what would you do? Well, what I would say is you train the horse to relax. So in the previous video that I'll share a link to in the description where we talked about stopping and standing, that horse did pick her foot up and paw a few times. And I did not whack her. I didn't jerk on the bit. I didn't yell at her. Sometimes you'll even see me reach down and pet the horse and say, no, it's all right. You're fine. What I will then do is I will take that information that the horse just provided, which is that the horse is anxious and not comfortable standing, and I will then say, let's see if we can get the horse back to a non-anxious state, which in this case is going to be we walk off. We don't do the standing still, because standing still when the horse feels like they need to move is the exact opposite of what you want to do for safety. So we walk off and I work on head down relaxation, usually for 30 to 60 seconds, and then ask for stop and stand again. Now, that can also be combined with eating grass when you give permission, and also giving the horse some food. I want to make standing still amazing for the horse. Not just that he has to do it because, darn it, I said so. Like, that is not the point. Sorry about the audio spike there. The point is not that he does it because he absolutely have to, or you're going to make him work in circles, or you're going to back him up, or you're going to run him around, though those are common methods. I want him to stand there because the horse goes, I'm so relaxed when I stand. And we work on relaxation before we work on standing. And the horse is like, I like this. I like standing and getting to think about this. And it becomes a safe place where I'm going to let them stand. And if they feel that they have to paw, then I'm going to find a way to try to get them to relax. I hope that made some sense. I think I answered all of the questions. Let me double check from the previous video. On YouTube, I'll probably try to combine these two or not, but I hope I did answer the questions about pawing. Let's see here, because again, this got split up into two videos, which again, that's never happened to me before, that it just got turned off. Okay. Yeah, I think that answered that. April does say that her horse will paw when standing tied because she wants to put her head down to eat grass. and not stand there without grazing if she can graze and is tied up and she doesn't paw. Well, what I will say this is we obviously don't want our horses to paw. I'm a big fan of letting your horses have access to food when you're not actively training or riding. What that means is when your horse is tied up at the trailer, give them hay, give them access to that. Now, they may not need to get grass. They may not even get the best quality hay, but I would provide food. When the farrier comes, I usually bring hay or grain, depending on the skill level of the horse, for them to eat the entire time the farrier is working. And I do this because I want the farrier coming to be a good thing, and I want them to have a reason to stand still and do a good job for the farrier. Now, if the horse was running around and jumping, I wouldn't be feeding them grain or hay, but they stand there very nicely and eat it. Okay, Rhonda says, some questions. What do I do when riding? Say the horse paws on the right front foot, immediately stand, putting weight in the right stirrup. They'll put weight on that foot. It takes away some of their balance. Okay, so Rhonda, that probably works excellent, just like you said. You said Tom Dorrance says to do this. But what you haven't done is taken away the actual problem. Remember, I started out this video said that the horse is communicating that he's anxious. Now, by you did it. You did it without hitting him. You didn't make him work. You just put weight in the stirrup so he had to stand there, but you haven't got rid of the anxiety. And that's what I'm trying to teach people. When the horse is telling you they're anxious, do something about it. Ask them for head down and walk off. I had a lady tell me that, and she's new to horses. She was riding in a group. They stopped. Her horse was anxious, and he was high-headed, and he was anxious to start with. And some other horses left. Now, there were horses that stayed, but the other horses left. Her horse wanted to follow. She wouldn't let him. And again, we don't have any video of it. What she said is the horse reared straight up. Not exactly a pleasant experience. But what I said is, your horse showed he was anxious by tossing his head and not wanting to stand when those horses left. And you ignored those signals and said, no stand here. And most horses will take that opportunity and will go up or they'll escalate. So just the fact that you got him to stop pawing isn't enough for me because I want that horse to relax. So I will walk around and ask for head down. Now, is it maybe appropriate to do that in certain situations? Weight the stirrup? Absolutely. But let's not forget that your horse is communicating by pawing, and that's what you need to address. Christina says, thank you. That was helpful to know you don't discipline pawing. Nicole says, what about other pawing while you have a buddy out riding? So Nicole, I'm going to guess that you're assuming that you're riding the horse and the horse that got left behind is pawing. So what you need to do, and a lot of people don't like this part, they want a quick solution. I will share a podcast in the description that talks about separation anxiety between horses, both the horse that's taken out and the horse that stays. What you can do, very simple, is the horse that's assuming being left behind, that's pawing, is provide him with things to do. This could be as simple as throwing out a flake of alfalfa that he's going to be like, ooh, yummy stuff. I'm going to eat this rather than get anxious. And as he gets better and better, maybe you don't throw alfalfa, you throw a regular flake of hay, or you throw less. And he learns that just because you leave doesn't mean it has to be a bad experience. And you can mix in some grain with that or throw treats in the field that he has to activate his seeking and go find them because they're not in one pile. You've thrown treats and scattered them and he has to go find them. So hopefully that gives you an idea. Debbie says, these videos have taught me so much as a new gaited horse owner. Thank you, Ivy. You are so welcome, Debbie. April says, when riding yesterday, my new horse, Mandy, did a great gait. I let her stop and graze as a reward. My husband gave me a weird look. I never let my horse stop and graze. Our rides are so short that there's really no need for it, but I tried your advice. I told him Ivy said it was okay. Aw, that's so nice. And again, when I let my horses stop and graze, I give them permission. I stop them myself and then I drop the reins and my cue is okay. But I know people say, eat grass, take a bite, you can use whatever cue you want. Again, so it's on cue. Christina says, treat the cause, not the symptom. I get it. And again, I know it's actually not super common in pawing to people say like, oh, your horse is anxious, but understand a lot of these behaviors are your horse telling you things. And it's taken me a long time to get there. I just started reading the book called Calming Signals, and I want to hopefully maybe finish it this week or next week and then give you a review, and it's fascinating. I've also been challenged. There was a post on a group that said, if horses are naturally prey animals and their natural instinct when something scares them is to put their head up and look, who are we as humans to say they should put their head down and become relaxed when they think they should be afraid? And so I'm actually going to be exploring that a little bit. I don't have an answer yet. Nicole says, thanks. So I assume that was the answer. Okay. thank you guys so much for watching this second live video today because we had some technical issues. But this one was about pawing. The previous video was about a horse standing still being ridden, and also a horse that pawed at the beginning, but then at the end, after about 16 minutes of riding, she wasn't pawing and she was standing nicely. So you can go back and check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with the technical issues we were having today. And there are 2 other videos coming this week on Thursday and Friday. So check those out. Hope you guys join us. I love doing the live videos and interacting with people. So thank you so much for the comments. That's what makes it a lot of fun to do. Yep. Everybody, you're welcome. Have a good week. You got this.